Hey guys, how is everyone? Back here on Simple ms250. By now you should have seen like an initial video and some test cuts with it, and a second video where we fully disassembled the saw. I didn't really look at anything much, but I got out here this evening and I've started cleaning things up, and this is kind of a second on me. I have had one other saw show up here someone had played around with a little bit. It was an old busted up Mac 250. It looked like it'd been skidder modified, but I did get it to run. Things sounded really good, but it's one of those deals I was tearing it down for parts anyway. But when I got into it, somebody had changed the reeds. It cleaned up the intake tract in it. It was just, it was pretty cool to get a hold of that. Something somebody had done, gosh, who knows how many years ago, but we have had it happen again. In the video of the test cuts, I knew the saw was cutting a lot damn faster than it should have been. I put a tack on it afterwards. It was somebody had it set at 14 grand out of the cut, which kind of really blew my mind. I think these were like 13,000 max RPM saws out of the box. I'm not 100% sure on that, but they are short stroke, like 32 millimeter stroke, 42.5 millimeter bore, like 45 cc's, I think. I'm sure if we'd got it in a big piece of red oak, it'd go to showing what I'm about to show you, and it's really the only thing I've found done to it. Kind of weird. Kind of wonder if they didn't just go in through the exhaust port and do it. If you'll remember, it was missing a muffler gasket when we pulled it down, but I don't know either because it has a chamfer on it, but it has definitely been ground on, definitely been widened, roof raised, but what is super freaking weird about it, have a look in here if I can get the light right. I did not bother to blend it back in at all, but that port hardly had any carbon on it. Just wipe out my fingers. It looked like someone had cleaned up and polished on it some. If you'll remember when I done the tear down, I was like, man, these ports are slick. Well, I actually just went and looked at another 025 cylinder 250 that I've got here in the shed. It's just not that way. It's jam-packed full of carbon. Your typical cast finish on it, but I really don't think it's been touched anywhere else. I won't know till I go to checking port time when I know exactly right where it should be on these. The intake port, I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air on. It's got an awful nice finish on it to be OEM, but who knows. Kind of looks similar to what I would leave on one, but I'm up in the air too there. I don't really see any casting flash or anything on it. It's just, like a cartridge roll finish on it, I guess. So, I don't know, kind of weird. Simple Man's buddy that we done the 290 for, I'm pretty sure he got this saw from him. And he got it and sent it straight up here to me, so... I don't know, who knows, but that does indeed explain why it was turning 14 grand out of the cut. But once I get into this and, figure some things out, I'll bring you guys back and show you more then. I just wanted to show the amount of carbon on the piston, as opposed to the exhaust port. This one's kind of weird. Again, I've not even got you zoomed in, but you can plainly see she's been ground on. Moved quite a bit, really. I have no idea what I'm going to get into on the port timing a little bit, but I can never get the light right to pick up a polish, but it has indeed been polished. There wasn't a bit of carbon in it. I think I showed that last night, how slick it was when I tore it down, but yeah, this one's a mystery. Alright guys, a lot of people, you've heard me say it, and there's a couple others have done these, that port timing on them was hot. Most of us are going to say, that intake's cracking open there. I've even measured it. Now I'm using this back here is a reference point. It's a straight line. Let's see. As you can see, she's cracking though about 78 degrees from the angle I'm looking at it. Double check that. Maybe get you down here from this angle. Yeah, it's pretty easy to pick up and see. She's cracking about 78 degrees. That is really common for these. Crack somewhere around 80 degrees. Exhaust port. Let's see if the flywheel don't fall off of it. I've just got the flywheel kind of sitting on it. Gonna be hard to do, really. I'm gonna pause you guys and get that just where it's cracking, and I'll show you and then bring you back to the wheel. I don't really have 3 hands here. Most of us would call that cracked open. There, my light's away. There it is, and I have measured it there as well. I've just got my own ways of doing that. I've shown it in other videos, but I've even seen guys use feeler gauges. I've done it myself on completely square ports. If you look at it from my angle here, we're going 90, then the next mark will be 100. About 98 degrees. That's about what I was expecting. The transfers, they're stockish, like 126 degrees. There's no real way for me to show you that on camera. This is what it is. Game plan here. Intake, it's got like a little lip from the cylinder plate, and I'm going to blend that in. Do my own little thing with the intake. Exhaust port, I'm going to blend in what they done, widen it a little more than it's done, and lay my own polish back over everything. Transfers, there really ain't a lot to do with those, like I shown on the other one. We'll figure something out. I am going to raise the uppers a couple of degrees. Ain't too much of a fan of 28 degrees of blowdown, especially with the intake time I'm going to have. It's going to, you know, probably got some pretty serious case pressure there anyway, but we'll raise them a little bit, bleed it off. It'll fatten it up top a little bit as well. You know, there's advantages and disadvantages to all of this, but I think raising them a couple of degrees is a good smart move. Really, honestly, I probably need raised like 4 or 5 degrees. I'd like to see them cracking 120, 121. We may even do that, but with that said, I'll bring you guys back when I've got more to show. Alright guys, I'll give you a look at the port work. Kind of blended in where they had left and opened the port on it, laid my own polish on it, widened it more than it was. Pretty nice looking port. Transfers, they're cut pretty thin, to be honest with you. That's about, you know, all I could figure to do. They are widened some as well. Uppers are raised, angles changed a little bit, not anything drastic. All pretty good on this saw anyway. The intake port, we went in and removed that lip. It wasn't even as thick as I thought it was. It'll change timing, but it should be somewhere right around 80 degrees, I guess. I think we had 78 when we started. Didn't raise the exhaust roof any from where it was at. Like I said, I just went in and blended back. It was actually a little harder to get it right than I thought. I set the flat file on it for a long time just to get everything good and uniform. And no, it don't all have to be perfect, but it's just, I'm kind of nitpicky with stuff that I do, and you know, it just is what it is. Some people get it, others won't. But the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to get the saw back together, and we're going to figure out a muffler mod on it, and I'll show you that. And then after that, hopefully we got it up and running and see if we made any improvements or not. Alright guys, so this flywheel's keyed. I thought I'd show you this. I don't know that I've shown it in the past, so what I done was filed some off of the back side of this flywheel. Right there would be stock timing if we don't like the advance, and what we'll do is just advance it forward. It's probably moving it 2-3 degrees at the most, and we'll zip it down there, and there's our timing advance. Muffler mod, we've cut this portion out of the top. There's a baffle right below it. What we done, we came in and cut a bunch of that out all the way up to that, and then went in, took our cutter and opened up the deflectors. I really wanted to put a pipe in it, but the only way I could do it is just come straight in on it, and I don't know, I just don't think it would work out very well, and I mean straight into the baffle right up the exhaust port. I've got this deflector matched up to the port, and the port opened up on the back. I done shown that, but should have a real nice pop to her. Hopefully the next thing you guys see is the saw running, and then, you know, see if we made an improvement. I'm gonna be really, really surprised if it does.